Hello guys, welcome back onto the channel. Sony has quietly updated the Gran Turismo 7 dedicated page on their website, confirming a few things about the upcoming game. Up until now, we've had a bunch of rumors and speculations, and the only official material available is that trailer they showed during the first PlayStation 5 showcase event, which shows that both Trial Mountain and a full-fledged career mode are back. Digital Foundry also did the pixel count and confirmed that the trailer was native 4K, but of course there's always a chance this is not indicative of what the release version of the game is gonna offer. And now, with this update on their website, we get official confirmation on exactly that. Gran Turismo 7 will run at 4K with 60 frames per second as their target frame rate. Note that it says support for 4K instead of up to 4K, which might be a confirmation that the game will actually run at native 4K resolution. Gran Turismo Sport, on the other hand, runs at 1800p with checkerboard rendering, reconstructing it up to 4K. Now, the FPS bit is interesting. Modern Gran Turismo games have always targeted 60 frames per second, and Gran Turismo Sport runs at 60 frames per second. Of course, there are some minor dips here and there, but it's mostly solid, and the dips that do happen are barely noticeable. Like the resolution, the wording says target 60 frames per second instead of up to 60 frames per second, which is expected at this point. However, I think the reason why it's worded like that has to do with something Kazunori Yamauchi mentioned last year. In one of the many interviews he has given in recent years, he mentioned that he would like the next Gran Turismo game to run at 120 frames per second. He didn't know whether that would be possible, but that was a target he had in mind. And well, Gran Turismo 7 is their next game. With 60 frames per second being the bare minimum people would expect from a next-gen Gran Turismo game, there's a chance that Sony chose their words carefully here as to not give away a possible performance mode that tones down certain visual features in favor of a higher frame rate. Or maybe they just don't want to create unnecessary hype over a feature they're unsure of whether will make it into the game or not, and considering how low-key they have been doing PS5 related stuff, this wouldn't be out of character. Personally speaking, I think 120 frames per second for Gran Turismo 7 is highly unlikely. Gran Turismo has always been known for being on the cutting edge of graphical fidelity, and I believe the studio would go for eye candy over a higher frame rate that only a small fraction of their audience would be able to enjoy. 60 frames per second is good enough for racing games, and the extra horsepower should allow the studio to push things such as lighting and even ray tracing even further. Maybe by the time Gran Turismo 8 is out, 120Hz displays have become mainstream enough to justify the push for 120 frames per second on a Gran Turismo game. But that's a ways out, so we'll leave that for another time. I have some more Gran Turismo 7 stuff to talk about, but as you know, I like to keep my videos short and to the point, so a separate video should be up shortly. Anyways, that's all I have for this one. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you on the next video. Bye.